Okay, so I'm out here at Waterfront Park in Trenton, New Jersey, speaking with Brett. And Brett, clearly the goal for you is a return to Major League Baseball. I know you talk about that probably on a daily basis, but how do you feel about how your season's going, and just thoughts on that goal being so prevalent for you?
I think the season's going well. My last 4 or 5 starts have been really good, and up to my standards, and I think for everybody else it's been up to their standards, and it's just a matter of whenever a spot opens up.
I know you joined New Hampshire a little late here. First time this club came through Trenton this year. You weren't around. You joined them right after they left here, I think, over in Reading, and just joining the team late and with the obvious goals and the obvious maybe expectations of you, is there a point where you felt a lot of pressure, and if you did, has that gone away and been alleviated?
No, at no point did I feel any kind of pressure. Like I tell my wife, and I tell everybody, I'm doing something that I love to do, and not many people can say that when they go to work, that they love getting up, they love going to work, and I've learned not to take this game for granted, and so as long as I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and I'm doing it halfway decent, then I'm all good.
Solid. And I spoke with Coach Tom, the pitching coach here, back in April during that visit, just specifically about you, and he was describing to me that you had a variance in your weight. You got more fit, you dropped some weight, and he was describing it as maybe a little bit of an obstacle for you to get used to the your new body as he described it. Do you feel that was the case, and are you fully acclimated?
Yeah, I think that was part of it. It's like I tell everybody, 15, 20 pounds or 10, 15 pounds in the off season for a guy to lose isn't very much, and they really don't have to get used to anything different. But 40 pounds is a lot of weight, and so it's been a little bit. I don't want to say tough, because it's a good thing that I lost all the weight, and I'm obviously in better shape to do my job, but I mean, really, that's the only word for it. Is it's been tough just to learn the new body.
I also recall hearing about a little bit of a drop in velocity, and where are you with that? And when you're trying to maybe kick it up or return to a level or kick it up notches, what do you work on with that?
Really,
any variances in the mechanics or anything?
No, I wouldn't say mechanics. It's just how you do your in between days, your long toss, your shoulder exercise program, and which I'm very strict on now, more than I ever have been. And bad start, good start, I make sure I get those in, the shoulder exercises, and it's increased the last 4 starts before this one. I didn't feel very good tonight, but before that it's been in the low 90s, high 80s, and touching 93.
Now, we mentioned Coach Tom, the pitching coach here. You got another real veteran coach here, the manager of the club, Sal Fasano. As you're striving to improve things and climb the ladder again here, are those guys a big help? And who else is helping you along the way right now?
Absolutely, those guys have been tremendous help. Not to take anything away from the big league coaches, but I feel like having Sal's point of view, being a catcher and being behind the plate and seeing that view that nobody else can see, besides a hitter, but hitter's not going to help you out very much. Just having that point of view and listening to what he says, it's helped me out tremendously. And he says he's not going to take any of the credit, but I got to give him a little bit. He's just been great. He's a great manager. He's great to all the kids in the locker room and on the field, and he carries himself very well as a manager, and he's a manager that he likes to have fun, and winning's kind of secondhand, and he'll point out mistakes when they're made, and do it in a professional way, and that's probably the best word I can think of. Sal is very professional.
And you've been through this Eastern League before, maybe a few years back, and just want to get some thoughts from you on where do you think the Eastern League competition right now ranks as, just in comparison to when you came through initially?
I would say it's probably gotten better. A lot of these guys are free swingers, and you know, it's taken me a little bit to learn more about that too, because you know, they are a lot of free swingers. So you know, it's just it's made me locate my fastball a little bit better when I want to throw it, and yeah, I think it's almost made my curveball a little bit more better, because you know, I've had to throw it a little bit more, so I've gotten used to it. And I've always had a good one, but you know, guys tell me, you got to throw that more, you got to throw that more, but it just seems like I've never gotten in the situation to be able to throw it that much, and you know, I think it's almost kind of helped me, because I have to, you know, mix my pitches up a little bit earlier in the game, and you know, I know it's not going to be the same way when I get back to the big leagues. You know, the guys are very patient, and you know, usually every hitter's looking for, you know, that one pitch, and not a lot of hitters, you know, can switch their plan pitch to pitch, and there are some good ones, but you know, a lot of guys are just looking for that one pitch to, you know, they can hit hard, and you know, most of the time in the big leagues they do, and a lot of guys down here, you know, hit that one pitch they're looking for, but I think for the most part down here they're hunting the fastball.
Absolutely, and I want to get a couple last quick things in here before I let you go. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I want to ask you about what kind of stands out as a shining moment for you, or one of your most you know, favorite times in your pro career.
I'd say it's probably just my first one in the big leagues. Oakland, 8 shutout innings. That was probably the highlight, and I did have a game in Cleveland where I think I went 6 perfect innings, and then gave up two walks in a row in the 7th, and then got a hit in the 8th, or later in the 7th, something like that. But obviously that would be my number one if I had finished that, but that wasn't the case. Yeah. But that's a close second.
Sounds good. And then the last thing, thank you so much again. I caught a glimpse of you before the game here in the locker room. What I like to call ITZ, in the zone. You know, earphones in. Just talk about what your routine is to prepare on game day for your start.
Well, in 2008, you know, I was still a rookie, and kind of didn't know any better. So you know, I brought my Xbox in, hooked it up, and you know, started playing online. And then, you know, sitting in the locker room one day before start, nobody's in there. Figured, I'll just, you know, play a couple games till everybody gets in, and you know, went out and threw 5 or 6 shutout innings, got the win, and you know, it just kind of became a routine for me then. And I wanted to start doing it last year in the big leagues, but I never really got that opportunity to check with anybody. Right. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have the best year last year, so I didn't want to, you know, ask a question like that when I'm, you know, 1-5 with a 6 ERA.
Might seem a little carefree.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, I know for me that it helps a lot. I usually, in the big leagues, I watch movies, but you know, movies make me tired, and I usually tend to think about the bad things that can happen in a game when I'm doing good, but even worse when I'm doing not so good. So, so the shooter games help you get a little fired up and focused? Well, I mean, I wouldn't say fired up and focused. It's just something for me to do to take my mind off that day, and you know, when it comes time to focus, just focus. And you know, there's so much other stuff going on. I don't have time to think about, you know, the good and the bad things that happen. I just got to go out there and compete. And you know, playing the game is just a way for me to it keeps my head in the game. You know, I'm watching, you know, almost like a movie, but I'm also using my hands, so it keeps me more in tune to that than my mind floating off and worrying about something else.
Great stuff. I really appreciate your time. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.